Recently, a comment appeared under one of the posts in the Community tab. A comment that stayed in mind long after reading it. The user shared, "He feels so lonely. He's very sensitive to judgment and criticism. He's afraid people will stop caring about him if they see he's not good enough. He just wants peace and connection." That kind of honesty, raw, vulnerable, and deeply human, is something many people feel, but rarely say out loud. So many live with that same fear of judgment, that same longing for real connection in a world that often feels cold and distant. This video is for everyone who has ever felt that way, and especially for you, Smoking Crab 22229. Your words speak not just for yourself, but for countless others who are carrying the same quiet pain. If you've ever been emotionally hurt, manipulated, or made to feel invisible by someone who cared more about control than connection, whether that person was a partner, a parent, or a friend, this message is for you. This video will explore how to heal after being hurt by a narcissist, how to rebuild your sense of self, and how to find peace again when trust feels impossible. Because even after everything you've been through, peace and connection are still possible. And they can begin right here. Seeing the abuse for what it was. Narcissistic abuse often hides behind charm and confidence. It doesn't always look like obvious cruelty. Sometimes it looks like affection that comes with conditions, support that disappears when you need it most, or love that only exists when you stay silent and agreeable. A narcissist thrives on control. Their goal is not connection, but dominance. Emotionally, mentally, even spiritually. They need validation to survive, and they take it by making others feel uncertain and inferior. To them, relationships are not about mutual growth, but about maintaining power. You may have been praised one day and humiliated the next. You may have been told that you were too sensitive, or that you misunderstood everything. Over time, you started to question your own feelings. That's not weakness. That's conditioning. It's what happens when someone slowly trains you to ignore your intuition. Recognizing the abuse for what it was is painful but necessary. You cannot heal from what you don't name. And the truth is, being manipulated, gaslighted, or emotionally neglected is abuse, even when there are no bruises. Abuse isn't always physical. Psychological harm leaves invisible scars that can take longer to heal. It's not your fault that someone chose to harm you to protect their fragile ego. You were targeted because of your empathy, your kindness, your light, not because you were weak. Legally and ethically, every person has the right to safety, respect, and autonomy. If boundaries were repeatedly crossed, or if your consent was ignored, emotionally, financially, or otherwise, that is a violation, not a misunderstanding. Understanding the emotional aftermath. Once you leave, the silence can feel unbearable. The noise stops, but the thoughts don't. Your mind replays every conversation, every insult, every small moment when you tried to make things right. You might even miss them, not because of who they were, but because of the version of yourself that you lost while trying to please them. The aftermath of narcissistic abuse feels like standing in an empty room that used to be filled with chaos. You crave peace, yet it feels foreign. You want connection, yet you no longer trust people easily. This is normal. Your body and mind have been trained to survive in danger, so safety feels confusing at first. This is what emotional trauma does. It wires your body to stay alert, even when you're safe. It makes you second-guess kindness, suspect motives, and fear judgment. Your nervous system remains in fight-or-flight mode, expecting pain even when it's gone. Healing begins when you start to teach your body that calm is not the same as danger. And when society tells you to just move on, the shame grows heavier. You start blaming yourself. Maybe you should have seen the signs sooner. Maybe you overreacted. Maybe you're too sensitive. But none of that is true. The damage wasn't caused by your sensitivity. It was caused by someone who exploited it. Your empathy is not the problem. It's your gift. It just needs protection now. And if the abuse involved financial control, stalking, or threats, it's wise to document everything and seek legal advice or trauma-informed counseling. Recovery is not just emotional. It's also about reclaiming your sense of safety and your rights. Rebuilding your sense of self. After being controlled or dismissed for so long, you might forget who you are without the other person's approval. Your thoughts, preferences, and boundaries may all feel blurred. You may even struggle to make simple decisions because your confidence was systematically taken from you. The path back begins with small acts of reconnection. Start noticing what feels right for you, not what pleases others. Pay attention to your emotions instead of pushing them away. When something feels uncomfortable, allow it to exist. When something brings relief, hold on to it. Healing is not a straight line. It's a spiral of remembering and rediscovering yourself. Rebuilding identity is not about becoming the old you. It's about becoming the true you, the one who existed before you learned to silence yourself for someone else's comfort. This process takes time, and it often benefits from professional guidance. Therapists trained in trauma recovery can help you rebuild your self-trust and understand the patterns that kept you stuck. Spend time alone without isolating yourself. Write, walk, breathe, or create. Every quiet moment you give to yourself is a step toward healing. The goal isn't to stop feeling, it's to feel safely again. Boundaries are part of that safety. Learning to say no without guilt is one of the most powerful steps forward. You don't owe access to anyone who drains you. You are allowed to protect your peace, even from those who don't understand why. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors with locks, and you hold the key. Learning what healthy connection looks like. After narcissistic abuse, trust feels dangerous. The idea of opening up again might trigger panic or resistance. That's normal. Your body and mind are trying to prevent more harm. But not everyone will use your vulnerability against you. Healthy connection is not built on control, fear, or silence. It's built on mutual respect, honesty, and space for imperfection. A healthy person doesn't punish you for having feelings. They listen. They don't demand constant attention or admiration. They share power, they apologize, and they make you feel seen, not small. In healthy love, you don't have to shrink to be safe. You can practice healthy connection by surrounding yourself with people who value empathy over ego. It could be friends, support groups, or even online communities where you feel understood. Healing happens faster when you are witnessed by those who remind you that your story matters. Support networks also serve as a protective factor, emotionally and legally, in case the abuser tries to re-enter your life or manipulate your reputation. Most importantly, remember that your worth doesn't depend on how others treat you. The most vital connection you can rebuild is the one with yourself. When you learn to treat yourself with respect, you naturally attract those who will do the same. Finding peace beyond survival. When you've lived in constant fear of criticism or rejection, calm can feel like emptiness. But peace is not the absence of emotion. It's the presence of safety. True peace is when you no longer have to explain your worth to anyone. The moment you realize that you don't need to earn love, you begin to breathe again. You start understanding that your value has never been up for debate. This awareness grows slowly, but once it roots itself, it becomes unshakable. Healing doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means learning to live without letting it define you. There will still be days of sadness, anger, and doubt. That's part of recovery. But each time you choose to stay kind to yourself, instead of blaming yourself, you reclaim another piece of your power. Forgiveness is not required. Closure may never come, but peace is still possible, because peace comes from knowing that you survived something designed to destroy you. And yet here you are, still capable of love, still capable of hope. Long-term peace often includes having clear safety plans, trusted allies, and legal awareness, just in case old patterns or threats reappear. Preparedness creates calm, not fear. Moving forward without fear. The fear of being judged or rejected again can make you cautious, even with good people. But healing doesn't mean hiding. It means moving with awareness, not avoidance. Start by trusting your instincts again. If someone's words make you shrink or doubt yourself, pause. If someone makes you feel calm and valued, that's a sign you're safe. Over time, your intuition becomes your guide again, not your enemy. Give yourself permission to grow at your own pace. There's no deadline for recovery. You don't have to prove your strength by pretending everything is fine. Real strength is quiet. It's in every boundary you hold, every moment you choose rest over chaos, every day you decide to keep going. You are not broken. You are rebuilding, and rebuilding takes courage that most people will never understand. Healing from narcissistic abuse is not about revenge. It's about reclaiming your peace, your truth, and your future. You survived manipulation and isolation. Now you are learning freedom and connection. And remember, you never have to walk this path alone. Reach out to professionals, to friends, to communities that value safety and truth. Healing is possible, and your story is proof of that. Your peace is sacred. Walking away from a narcissist is one of the hardest things anyone can do. It takes everything, your trust, your energy, your hope, and demands that you start over with nothing but yourself. But the truth is, you still have everything you need. The empathy that once made you a target is the same force that will help you heal. The sensitivity that once brought you pain is the same awareness that will protect you now. You deserve a life where love feels safe, where connection feels mutual, and where peace is not something you have to earn. The journey may be long, but it's yours, and it leads somewhere real. You are not alone, not broken, and never beyond repair. If this message resonates, take a breath and remember, surviving was the hardest part. Healing is what comes next. And as always, because YouTube's algorithm tends to favor videos with strong engagement, if you feel this video has brought you value, a simple like and a quick subscribe would mean so much. It not only helps this message reach more people who need it, but also ensures you will never miss the next video that could make a difference in your journey. Thanks all